Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to present you this beautiful Mugo pine from the Dolomites. Christian collected 4 years ago and we just finished styling. See all the process. Ciao!
Bonsai Trip.
This beautiful Mugo pine was collected in the Dolomites 4 years ago and repotted last spring, cleaning the original soil. It is always important to work on pines where they don't have any original soil, because that soil doesn't allow the roots to breathe. You can see how the Mugo is now nice and strong and ready to be styled. The work will be pretty easy. We're gonna use this as a front with the most character of deadwood and live lines, moving the lower right branch a little bit more towards the front and then opening up the foliage to allow all the foliage to have a nice sun and develop into beautiful pads and one day into a beautiful bonsai. So we're gonna start by separating a little bit the shari from the live line in the section of the branch we want to bend, and then with the wire opening everything up. At the end we're going to do a little work on the deadwood to reduce some gin and focus all the attention to the powerful and compact trunk. To prepare the tree for the first styling, we only keep the strong shoots and we remove the weak ones, because we want the tree to have a lot of energy. At this point we are not interested on the volume, but we want to give as much energy as we can to the different part of the tree, because we are building the structure of the future bonsai. We start preparing the first branch for the bending. We remove a part of the gin that is kind of going over some of the branches we want to use. And also this will help us to remove part of the deadwood of the shari that we want to make a little bit more bendable. Adesso qua lo stacchi. In this section we're gonna use the bark splitter. Fammi sentire, senti che sia arrivato, perfetto, ce l'hai su. And we're gonna split the live line and the deadwood. We go in here, bene, storto, aspetta. Adesso vai dentro qua. Cerca di tenerlo più orizzontale alla vena. Senti dietro. So splitting the section here, we're gonna make the branch a little bit more flexible so we can push the branch down and forward.
Un po' più bassa.
Cerca lì. Now that the section between the shari and the branch is separate, we can start bending down the part that will build the first pad of the tree. We don't need any raffia. We want to see how the fibers react to the bend. This is just the first push down, and later on we're gonna push again, so we give time to the fibers to stretch. Now Christian can start to wire all the fine branches. So we're gonna have everything nice and wired for the final position at the end of the work. Every flash is wired with a nice loop, so we can set perfectly its position and create a lot of secondary pads according to the main one. It's time to open up a little shari between the two live line. That section is less active, as we can see on the image. So using a double knife, I can remove some of the bark and start creating a shari that will also be extended in the future. Because the section is alive, it is very important to protect the fibers side by side at the end of the work using some cut paste, so we can avoid dieback from the live line, and next season eventually we can go through and reopen up the edges of the shari to make it a little bit more wider. But it's important aesthetically the division of that live line in two parts. Now we start a little bit with more bending on the lower branch. We do the second pushing down, so the fiber are a little bit more flexible. We can go down a little bit more, and after that I can start positioning. I always shape the trees from the lower branch up to the top. I use the structural wire to move the secondary branches in the position. I like to have a first pad facing the front, create a nice line. All the outside flash are lined up, and I use the inner one to create volume, trying to give a kind of a triangle shape to my pad. I don't want to make all one horizontal line. That's the reason why I move secondary branches up and down to create different levels and lines. The work, as you can see, start from the front and go through all the pad around. Is one branch, but I don't want to make as a single pad, but aesthetically it has to look like a lot of different pads, creating rhythm and movement. This is very important to not design a tree that look boring, because the green masses are too big, especially according to the overall image of our tree. You can see how I continue my work up, moving the little branches and cleaning also some of the old needle. This helped me to have a nicer and cleaner lines to my pads. Very important job.
Eccoci alla fine della prima lavorazione di questo Mugo, raccolto da me nel 2017 in Dolomiti. Era attaccato ad una parete e i primi 3 anni l'ho lasciato solo in piena pomice, in una vasca molto più grande, e nel 2020, primavera, il primo rinvaso per pulire tutto il suolo rimasto. Ora coltivato in piena pomice basta, pieno sole, e la pianta ha risposto molto bene ed ora era il momento di fare la prima lavorazione con Mauro, e questo è il risultato. Sono molto contento e spero che abbia un buon futuro questa pianta.
Bonsai Dream.